Coming up, officers in Manchester meet a man who isn't making much sense.
Have you had a few drinks on the plane?
Yeah,
One or two?
Aye.
All right, OK, that explains a few things.
A cigarette smuggler in Gatwick is caught with his trousers down.
Now, you knew they were in there and you saw me put them back, but you still didn't tell me.
And when Gary questions a man on a student visa,
25, you just make that up now.
something doesn't add up. At Manchester Airport, a flight has just arrived from Dubai. Border officers and immigration have stopped a British man who's lost his passport. They've let him into the country, but want customs officers to speak to him.
He's turned up without a passport. He came off to Dubai. He's been drinking and he's arrogant, is the word they used. But I'm sure you'll be able to cope with that. 99152.
Thank you, Chief.
With the man's rather unusual behaviour, border officers in immigration have suggested searching his bags.
He didn't seem that drunk.
He looks completely out of it.
Yes, sir.
I want to go to Soidful, you know.
You want to go to
Soidful, you know Soidful?
Salford? Yes,
Yeah.
Salford.
Yeah,
Right, well, first of all, you need to get out of here.
yeah, right.
Do you have anything to declare?
What do you mean?
Do you need to speak? Sorry?
I need to any streets? No,
No.
no, I don't.
Where have you arrived from?
I come from Dhaka.
Right.
Yeah.
Officers take the man aside for further questioning.
Where did you lose your passport?
In the airport.
In the airport in Dubai.
No, Dubai, or I don't know where.
You don't know where you've lost it.
But I did have it with me. You know, I don't know why.
Is it a British passport?
Right. Well, I'm going to look inside your bags and I'm going to ask you some questions. Are these all your bags here?
This one is mine.
Yeah, did you pack them yourself?
What?
Did you pack them all yourself?
Yeah, yeah,
Do you know what's inside the bags?
yeah.
Has anyone given you anything to carry?
Anything? No, nothing too bad to carry.
Well, OK. Have you had a few drinks on the plane?
Yeah, one or two.
One or two?
Aye.
All right, OK, that explains a few things.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna lie, I'm gonna have to lie.
All right.
You know,
What do? Do you work here or are you a student?
no, I'm no student, nothing. My family here, right? I just see my family. That's right.
Where is your home?
Fatley.
Flatley.
Fatley.
Like Michael Flatley.
No, it's called Fatley.
Fackley.
Yeah.
Which country is that?
It's Bangladesh.
Right.
In Bangladesh. So your home is in Bangladesh.
No, my home is in England.
Yeah,
You've
where,
just said.
where in England is your home?
Manchester.
Right. Okay.
Right.
My family, my mom.
You went to Bangladesh to visit your family.
Family.
And how long have you been away?
How long? I maybe 4 weeks.
4 weeks.
No, I mean 4 months.
4 months?
4 months, yeah. So quite long.
It's a long time.
Yeah, quite long.
But what my colleague asked was,
Right.
do you work in
catering.
Manchester?
Yeah, catering.
Catering?
Yeah. Aye. Catering, yeah. Catering was, yeah.
Even the simplest question seems too much for this passenger. It could be a long afternoon for the officers. At Gatwick Airport, a plane has just arrived from Nigeria. East Africa is a known source for Class A drug smuggling, and it's up to the UK border officers to stop and question any suspicious passengers.
Just put your bags on the bench for me, sir, please. Right. Just ask you a few questions first of all. OK, so you started your journey in Nigeria, is that right?
Lagos. Dubai to the UK.
Right, OK. And how long will you stay in England for?
I'm leaving at 7 p.m. this evening, 7:05.
OK, and where are you flying on to?
Netherlands, Amsterdam.
OK, and what's the reason for your trip to Amsterdam?
Vacation. I'm on vacation. I'm just traveling through Europe.
Do you have friends or family in Amsterdam?
No, I have hotel reservation.
And you're not travelling with anybody else?
Just me.
OK, what's your occupation in Nigeria?
IT consultant. I used to live in the US.
So from Amsterdam, then, where are you going?
Zurich.
Going to Zurich? OK, so how long will you stay in Amsterdam for?
Just one day.
And then you'll fly on to Zurich.
Yes, and I take a train back to London.
How long will you stay in Zurich for?
1 day. I'm just traveling through Europe, that's it.
Hazel is alerted by the man's whistle-stop tour of Europe. Her suspicions are heightened when she finds a cheque for a substantial amount of money.
So who's Alex?
It's a friend of mine.
And is this 16,000 American dollars?
That's right.
Okay, why are you writing him a cheque for 16,000 American dollars?
Because I owe him the money, and he's in the US, and I'm just mailing it from here to him in the US.
Hazel's not satisfied by the man's explanation, so the officers swab his suitcase for drugs.
There we go. It won't be 1 minute, OK, sir? Thank you. We're just going to see if there's been any contact with controlled drugs. The one that this machine tests for is cocaine or heroin. So there's a reading come up, a middle size or a medium reading for contact with both cocaine and heroin. Hazel, there was a 0.51 reading for contact with cocaine, yellow, so
Right.
medium size, middle size.
Okay.
Hazel confronts the man with the evidence.
The machine we have tests for traces of drugs, and what he's just told me is that there was a background trace for cocaine.
I've never used cocaine before.
Have you ever been near any drugs, or...?
Never
No?
touched it.
Okay.
The man is adamant, but Hazel can't rule him out as a smuggler just yet.
He's got really hardly any luggage. His trip is for 7 days.
Yeah.
Have we ever had swallowers that have come in off the Dubai? We have, haven't we?
We have, yes.
Yeah. I'm going to take this further because I'm not happy with him at all. I'll
Yeah.
get permission for a search, I think, and then put him through the body scan.
In Manchester, officers are still trying to get some sense out of the inebriated passenger.
OK, what's this then? This one?
No, nothing bad, man. You
Right.
take it, man. It's all yours, man. You take it.
All right.
You're happy. No, I'm not, I don't mind. It's nothing bad.
Fruit.
Yeah, yeah, I need food, yeah.
Right, you know, you have too many cigarettes. Do you know that?
2 minutes cigarettes.
Yeah.
Oh, only 3 packs.
You're not allowed 3 packets. You're allowed an allowance of
I don't
200.
know, but this is my first time. I
Right.
swear to God, I don't know. This is my first time anyway.
OK.
The officers are used to dealing with all kinds and are satisfied this man has just had a bit too much to drink.
Then, aye.
You might be thinking-
I think because you've drunk too much.
No, I'm
I think, no.
See, it does make me, giving me a hard time.
Right.
I never been, it's never, if I'm drunk, obviously, it's something bad. But
Right, no,
nothing
listen,
bad to
listen,
me. And why?
listen to what I'm saying.
Okay,
You've lost your passport, so you might lose these cigarettes, so I'm sticking them in here, OK?
okay,
And
but
put
I
that in
will
your...
appreciate it, yeah.
Don't lose that,
I never
because
lose.
that's all you've got left, ID-wise. Put it in your pocket.
But you younger than me, but
I'm younger than you.
give me a good lesson, and
And
I
I'm
never
younger than you.
forget. No, I'm just saying.
Say that. I'm younger than him.
I'm just saying.
The man is keen to explain how and why he lost his passport.
I have nice flight, I have a passport, and I can't understand why. I have a passport with me, and someone saying, oh, I lost my passport, this, that, and passport is gone. So that makes me very bad. In the plane, they have drink. Obviously, I have a good time in the nice flying, you know.
Happy that he's heeded their warning, officers send him on his way.
Thanks.
All right,
Okay, thank you, sir.
to the left, and then right. Left and then right.
Oh, watch yourself. He'd had a bit to drink, but he was a nice fella, I think. He had a bit of fruit and a few ciggies too many. I just hope he finds his way home.
Okay, sir, thank you, bye.
At Gatwick Airport, Hazel's still trying to verify the Nigerian man's story to work out why he's travelling with a cheque for thousands of dollars.
And what is it you owe this man the $16,000 for?
It's money he gave to me. It's in the US. I'm sending it back because I'm not traveling to the US. I said, while I'm in the UK, I'll get a stamp, put it on it, and mail it to the US.
But why did you borrow the money from him?
Yeah, I'm a businessman. I just started my business. I need people to give me money to run my business.
I'm not completely happy with what he's telling me. And whether all this is just a smokescreen for the fact that he's bringing drugs here and he could have booked it and then cancelled it when he gets back, I don't know.
Yeah.
He's been very cooperative so far. I think he's likely to agree to a body scan. So if you're happy, I'd just like to put him through the machine. OK, sir. What I want to do, we've got one last thing we can do.
That's okay.
OK, and that is to just give you a quick X-ray.
The man is put through an X-ray to reveal whether he's swallowed any packages. On examination of the images, it's clear the man has nothing inside him.
OK, that's fine, sir. Thank you very much for your time and your cooperation.
Despite the indicators, the man is innocent and free to go. And thanks to his cooperation, he leaves with plenty of time to catch his connecting flight. At Gatwick Airport, it's rush hour as scores of holidaymakers arrive back from outside the EU. Husband and wife officers Paul and Hazel are bracing themselves for a busy night.
Hello, where have you just arrived from?
Turkey.
Cigarettes will be their main aim as they look to intercept passengers carrying more than 200.
Do you have anything in excess of your duty-free allowance?
1,800 bags.
Right, OK, you can only bring 200 back each.
And am I going to guess right in saying you've got more cigarettes than that one as well? OK.
See, you could do my job, thank you. Is there another one? Thank you.
OK, I don't think I need to tell you, you know you're in the wrong.
If you're found to be in possession of excess revenue goods again, you could end up being prosecuted.
The tobacco seizures are already mounting up. The next flight in is from Moldova, and Hazel and Paul want to examine the bags before the passengers pick them up.
On this flight, it's been known that people bring in quite a lot of cigarettes. What's happened is there's only 27 passengers on this flight, so the bags have all been delivered, but there's no passengers in the reclaim at the moment. So the bags will be coming round again, so we'll have a second shot just to have a look at them outside.
It doesn't take long for Paul and Hazel to spot some dodgy bags, and Sarah finds some sneakily hidden cigarettes.
A few cigarettes. Obviously, we can see a couple of cartons here inside the suitcase, but there's also a few that I can feel under the lining here. We can just have a look in there. There's a few cigarettes under there. And also, in an effort to try and hide them, there's actually some that I can feel in the bottom of here. These are, I'll just hold them, a pair of waterproof trousers.
Paul heads back out to wait for the passenger to claim the bag with the green trousers.
Hello. Hello.
Yes.
Where have you arrived from?
From Republic of Moldova.
Moldova. OK, if you'd like to bring your bags in.
Paul reminds the man about the rules.
There's allowances with regard to cigarettes and tobacco. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
You understand it. And what do you understand those allowances to be?
I don't know.
You don't know? So it's 200 cigarettes.
But Paul knows he's got a lot more than 200.
OK, so you've got 600 there, which is 3 times what you're allowed. Yes?
Sorry?
It's 3 times what you're allowed for 600 cigarettes, yes?
Yeah.
Do you understand that?
Yeah.
So you're over by 3. Yes?
All
3
right.
times. 3 times the allowance, yes?
Yeah.
Have you got any other cigarettes or tobacco in here?
Yeah, I got a couple of more
Couple more what?
cigarettes.
Yeah, but how many?
Just 2.
Just those?
Yeah. Maybe more.
Maybe more?
Yeah.
Why didn't you tell me how many?
I don't know exactly. I bring this souvenir from my friend.
As a souvenir?
Yeah.
I've never heard of a cigarette called a souvenir before.
Because it's expensive. Yeah. They asked me for cigarettes.
So how many cigarettes have you got in total?
Maybe I got here cigarettes.
And you've hidden them inside the case? Why have you hidden them in the case?
They told me.
They told you to hide them. Why? Because you're not allowed to bring them?
Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe you don't know. OK.
The man's being evasive, and he's yet to mention the cigarettes hidden in the waders. At Manchester Airport, a flight has just arrived from Pakistan. It's from outside the EU, so passengers here are also limited to just 200 cigarettes. But the X-ray identifies a pink box, which officers suspect is well over the allowance.
Before I even put it through, I thought the weight for the size is right as well, and the density is right. Right, let's go.
The box is put back on the belt, and Officer Az heads out to the reclaim area to see who picks it up.
Well, I'm going to x-ray your bags, OK? I'm going to x-ray your bags. So this way. Are you travelling alone?
Yeah.
And where is it you're travelling from?
A young man travelling by himself has claimed the box, and Az takes him in for further questioning.
It's bad news. Do you know what your allowance for cigarettes are? It's 200. 200 cigarettes, one sleeve of cigarettes. How many do you have?
9.
How many?
9.
9 sleeves. OK. I'm going to look inside all these bags now, OK? You still sticking with 9? All right, could you open this for me, please?
Having seen the X-ray for himself, Az knows he's carrying a lot more than 9 sleeves.
6 of that.
Oh, so there's more than 9? Why didn't you say that right from the start?
The man realizes he's busted.
I'm going to seize these cigarettes because you're well over your allowance. That's all you're allowed. If you bring anything like this in, you need to declare them. You need to let the customs officer know that you've got more than 200.
But the 10,000 cigarettes will be seized, and he won't be selling them illegally on the UK black
They
market.
took money off you there. Who did?
As a matter of interest, how much did you pay for these? For like...
For all of them, it cost
No, just for what?
£2.
£2. You would have sold that for about 30,
Yeah, very easily.
but not this time.
The man leaves without his cigarettes, which will now be destroyed. Meanwhile, another passenger from Pakistan has been brought down by immigration officers. They suspect he's breached his student visa by working when he should have been studying.
Apparently the university or college papers that he's given to the officers, he thinks a little bit dodgy, so the immigration officers just has to go in the bags to see if there's any other documentation that backs his story up, basically.
Almost immediately, Gary finds the man's UK lorry driving licence. Unusual paperwork for a student.
Have you had a licence for a large goods vehicle? Do you drive for someone? No?
Well, we all like big lorries, don't we? But I don't necessarily want to pass the test. So why would you want to pass the test for? No, I understand that. But why would you want to learn to drive a big lorry in the UK unless you were working for somebody?
Convinced he's been working, Gary presses the man for details of his alleged university.
So in this college, what's the name of the college? Oxford. And how many people go to that college? 25, you just make that up now. And what's the names of the other people in the class? Roll me 5 off, starting now.
Louis, Sam, 3, Nate,
Go away, you're making this up. I'm going to give you 5 quicker names.
If the man wants to convince Gary, his answers will have to be better than that. In Gatwick, Officer Paul is still talking to the man from Moldova who's hidden cigarettes in his waterproof trousers.
Basically, you get a 200 cigarette allowance. Once you go over that allowance, you forfeit that allowance. So all the items that you brought in today are going to be seized, yeah? You understand that? And I think you knew it before, didn't you? That's why they were hidden.
Yeah, they told me.
As Paul finishes up his search of the man's bags, Officer Sarah takes him aside for a quick word.
If you check the feet of those very large waterproof trousers, there's some in the feet.
Oh, is there?
The one's in the red bag.
Cheeky.
You might have to check the other one, because I think there might be another one in there.
Pop that one back up. Pop that one back up.
Sorry, what?
Bring it back up. Have you got cigarettes in the bottom of these?
I don't know.
You do know, don't you? Because you did it. So bring the other pair out.
This?
Yes, yes, yes. Now, you knew they were in there and you saw me put them back, but you still didn't tell me, did you?
I don't remember, but...
I think you do remember quite clearly.
Oh, my...
Paul is far from impressed that the man has tried to deceive him. Hidden in the 2 pairs of trousers are over 200 cigarettes.
Now, is there anything else you want to tell me about? No? That's it, is it?
Check again.
It would have been just better if you'd have been honest with me at the beginning, yes?
In all, the man was trying to smuggle almost 3,000 cigarettes.
Yeah, I have to say, I don't know, I've never seen cigarettes packed like this before. This is the first time for me. He'd hidden them on advice from his friends, but I think he totally knew why he was hiding them. Your passport, and you're free to go.
Back in Manchester, Gary's team have almost finished searching the man suspected of breaching his student visa.
I mean, this just looks like a photocopy of something that's been made up. It doesn't even look convincing, does it?
And it doesn't look good.
Do you think he'll get landed?
Probably temporary admission to come back tomorrow with the rest of the proof that he's been studying.
And if he thinks you're onto him, he just wouldn't come back.
Well, I know, exactly.
And the fact that there's information in his bag about he's taken a HGV course in driving suggests to me that he's obviously possibly could be working.
Gary then finds some suspicious credit cards that cast further doubt on the man's credibility.
It's all a bit strange, but it's not a customs issue.
But the search has found no evidence of drugs, so the man is taken back up to the immigration area. He'll be given 24 hours to prove that he's returned to the UK to study, or he'll be removed. In Bristol, early morning flights are being targeted by customs officers, clamping down on passengers attempting to profit from cheap and illegal tobacco from outside the EU.
Colleagues at the back are having a look, see if they can pick out any cigarettes or tobacco, possibly drugs as well. I'll stop whoever needs to be stopped.
Yeah, we've got just the one bag. It's a black and grey, big, soft-sided bundle.
OK, thank you. It's bag coming through now.
And watches closely to identify the passenger.
Guy with a white T-shirt.
Then waits for him to walk through the green channel. If he has cigarettes, it's at this point an offence has been committed.
Are you aware of the allowances of what you are actually allowed to bring back from Turkey with regards to cigarettes and tobacco?
No.
OK. Did you purchase any tobacco, cigarettes, alcohol? Who are they for? Are they...
For me, for my wife.
Right.
I don't sell them.
Yeah.
And we just went by what they told us.
They say they've been given false information in Turkey.
He's actually got somewhere in the region of 4,000 cigarettes, and you are only allowed 200, so that's quite excessive amount to bring back, really.
You just go by what they allow you and pay the consequences, possibly.
It's going to be an expensive mistake,
Good reason.
and gives the man the bad news.
It's an offence because you didn't declare it. If you'd have declared it when you came in, before you came through the channels, if you'd have come to one of us and said, got this amount.
Excuse me, I've got to the end of that thing. There's no something to declare or nothing to declare.
There is a red point down there with a phone. He said, it's right by the bag, where the bags come out. As a possibility, you would have been allowed to pay the duty on the cigarettes. But for an amount like this, 5,000 cigarettes, when you're actually only allowed to bring back 200, it's just too much. It's too much, I'm sorry.
In Dover, customs officers are hunting for smugglers on a different scale, and trucks carrying certain cargoes set the alarm bells ringing. This lorry full of chipboard is a prime target.
Well, the vehicle looks a bit dodgy, yeah.
Armed with their giant X-ray, customs can quickly scan huge trucks, and innocent drivers can be sent happily on their way.
This load is chipboard, the sun's intact, you're free to scan.
Thank you. So we're looking for any inconsistency. I've been told the load's chipboard, so it should just be the same all the way through. There's something in there that shouldn't be there. This here, there's a shadow across the centre there.
see the shadow even more there, right across the centre.
The X-ray has picked up a large anomaly, which needs further investigation.
Show up. Sneaky. Okay, cool.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
It looks highly suspicious. So the truck will now need to be offloaded. It will take hours, meaning a long delay for the driver. Back in Bristol, the man who's had his cheap Turkish cigarettes seized by Anne isn't going quietly. After her 12-hour night shift, Anne's doing her best to keep calm.
There's one rule for one person, one rule for a different person. One customs officer will allow one customs officer will allow something totally different.
This is the kind of thing that puts small businesses out of business, and that is what they try to stop.
No, it isn't. It's getting the money from for the government.
It's a large amount, and it wasn't declared before you came through the channels. You actually came through the channels without making...
What channels you're talking about?
This point down here, these that you walked through.
Just show me what you're talking about.
The man doesn't have a leg to stand on, and Anne's patience is being tested to the limit.
I understand at this point there is not a green channel because there is construction work taking place. But everybody that wants to declare something should either speak to one of our officers that is stood here, or this red point here. There is a phone, and if you pick it up, you will be connected to a customs officer and you will need to declare what you have. This is a declaration. If you make this, we offer you to pay the duty. Unfortunately, you didn't do that. I had to stop you.
I came from there. I walked over to here.
Yes.
I'm looking for my baggage. I come round here, I get my baggage. I look here, nothing to declare, arrivals from European Union. Whoosh, where's something to declare?
This is now something to declare.
Hang on. Where is something to declare?
Well, it
Now,
doesn't
come
need
off
to
it.
say...
Now, play the game.
It doesn't need to say something to declare. You can read, obviously, and that's...
Nothing to declare. Big letters.
Yes, that is. I'm not going to argue anymore. Look, goods to declare, red point. Warning, if you have failed to make the appropriate...
I didn't know that.
I'm not going to argue about it anymore. You do have the right to appeal against my decision. The rules are the rules. I'm sorry, I don't make those rules.
I know, it's just the way, it's just, one for one, one for another. So I can keep these, can I?
Yes.
As a final act of generosity, Anne decides to let them have back their allowance. But the man's angry mother doesn't know how to keep quiet either.
I think they should be sorted out. They're telling us one thing and law's another thing, though. I'm sorry, but I disagree with that.
Undercover officers also take on cigarette smugglers, but on a global scale. In 2003, investigators in Bristol got a tip-off about second-hand furniture dealer Andrew Smith smuggling cigarettes from the Far East.
Smith's level of business in his income tax returns didn't reflect on the lifestyle he appeared to enjoy. He had a large house and a swimming pool. It was decided that we would mount a surveillance operation on Andrew Smith to identify his associates and to gather evidence to support a likely prosecution for cigarette smuggling. One of these associates was a gentleman in Birmingham called George Grassick. George Grassick had visited Malaysia on a number of occasions, and it was obvious that those visits were to organise the eventual importation of containers.
The investigation uncovered an extremely well-organised criminal gang bringing in containers of cigarettes to Southampton Container Port.
What they were actually doing was piggybacking containers of flat-pack bunk beds from Malaysia and China. The cigarettes were in identical boxes to the flat-pack bunk beds. The only difference was no bunk beds.
During this surveillance, officers in Southampton x-rayed a container hiding over 2 million cigarettes. But to guarantee a conviction and ensure the maximum sentence, officers also wanted to prove that Smith was responsible for coordinating the importation, which meant proving links to the Far East.
It was clear that in Operation Commute that Smith must have had contacts in the Far East. One person identified through the surveillance was a Malaysian national female.
Smith and the woman were clearly unaware that they were the focus of a high-level surveillance operation.
In July of 2003, officers surveilled Andrew Smith and the Malaysian female at Heathrow Airport. They surveilled the lady checking in for a flight to Malaysia.
The officers searched her bags covertly and found exactly what they needed.
She was totally unaware that the examination had taken place, and officers found a diary, and this female's diary contained handwritten notes relating to containers, freight charges, Far Eastern ports. The evidence of the diary and Smith's association with this Malaysian female, it put him up the ladder a few rungs. It confirmed that he was an organiser of this fraud.
At this point, the officers decided it was time to seize the containers and stop the illegal gang's trade route.
Their funds were being starved. They were running out of money. They needed to think quick. They decided to use another company to import, or another company name to import their containers. The surveillance carried on Smith. On one occasion, Andrew Smith was seen to leave one car and join some associates in another car. A keen officer walked along, had a look through the window, and there was a piece of paper on the back seat. And that piece of paper had a container number on. That container number was the next container we seized.
With a strong case against the two ringleaders assured, Smith and his associates were arrested.
He had actually successfully, with George Grassick, imported 10 containers. With the help of our detection colleagues in Southampton, we seized 11 containers that contained 25 million cigarettes. The total revenue evaded was around about £9 million.
With the sheer scale of the fraud and the overwhelming evidence, investigators weren't surprised by the sentences handed down.
Andrew Smith was sentenced to 3 years, 8 months imprisonment. George Grassick received a prison sentence of 3 years and 11 months. Some people would say they played the game. On this occasion, the authorities won.
Off the coast of Cornwall, Customs cutter searcher is patrolling the limits of British waters, hunting for yachts headed for the UK from the Caribbean.
Right, we're just leaving St Mary's in the Scilly Isles and we're going out to the west and we're doing what we call a deep sea sweep. We're looking for anything that's out there, small commercial ships, yachts, fishing vessels, and we'll go and have a look at them, and within the 12-mile limit we'll board them and see what they're up to.
The Atlantic is increasingly dangerous at this time of year, but smugglers are prepared to risk their lives in the hope of sneaking drugs into the UK undetected.
In territorial waters, we've got the power to board any vessel and ask people questions of where they've come from and search of vessels.
Colin uses a powerful radar to scan the ocean for yachts.
It tells us there's a target there, and that allows us to watch his course and speed, see where he's going, which direction he's going for a start. And then we'll go and actually have a look at him. It's nice to find things, because it gives the guys a buzz. That's what you're here for in the first place.
But today, there's nothing around but a vast ocean. And it's easy to see why the cutter crews are the most sought-after jobs in customs.
Beautiful, aren't they? And that was the game you used to do. You could see how close you get to the basket shark.
The chipboard truck with a suspicious X-ray is now in the search bay. The German driver is questioned, while Michael tries to uncover anything stashed inside the load.
Well, it's a load of chipboard, so what we've done is we drilled in 2 holes towards the back. As I drilled through, it kind of went down about that deep, and then just gave way. And as I pulled the drill bit, I could smell a little bit of tobacco, and also I could see little bits of tin foil. The only problem is with wood, sometimes because the drill, it burns it when you're drilling. It can smell a little bit like, kind of tobacco type smells.
It could be a false alarm, but as the top layer of chipboard comes off, the source of the tobacco smell becomes very clear. Michael has uncovered a massive haul of cigarettes in a coffin concealment. The driver is arrested immediately.
Verstehe sowieso gar nichts. Anything we do say may be given evidence. You understand? Weiß es nicht. Well, there's a large quantity of tobacco, marked cigarettes. I'm guessing there's some other bits and pieces in boxes and stuff, but we'll find out in a bit. Well, the chipboard load's quite normal, it's quite common, but as you can see, it's easy to conceal items within it because it's only cheap wood, it's a cheap load, they can get rid of it quite easily and they can cut holes in it.
While the drivers question to see if he's involved, the officers need to count up the cigarettes.
How much was it?
You've got 160,000 in there, in the boxes, and 160,800 on the pallet.
So in total it's 320,800.
Just one. So times that by 6.
In all, nearly 2 million cigarettes.
Because you spend so much time looking in lorries and not finding stuff, because obviously, not everyone's bringing things in. So it's good to find something. That's a good number as well. This is what we kind of want to get, really, because this is the big numbers.
In Gatwick, the baggage X-ray has picked up a suspiciously empty suitcase, and customs want to talk to the passenger. Officers have to tackle all kinds of passenger, and some are more cooperative than others.
Hi, sir. Hi, where have you come from today? Tripoli, yeah? Okay, just want to bring your bag over here first. Just here.
Officers ask simple questions to work out if further investigation is needed. But this man is making things difficult.
Yeah, no, that's fine. We'll try and make this as painless as possible.
Well, you need to be quick, yeah?
But I understand I've got to do my job, though, yeah? Just, first of all, whereabouts are you going to in the UK? Where's home for you here?
Well, I live here.
Yeah, where's home?
Check it in your system.
Right, if you tell me, then I won't have to go and check it.
There you go and check it.
No, if you just tell me where you go.
Give me a break, man. Just let me go.
Why have you been out there for a week?
I don't need to tell you.
Well, I'm a customs officer.
Yeah, but I don't need to tell you.
All right.
That's not your business.
Did you pack the bags yourself?
Yes, I did.
And do you know what's inside your bags?
Listen, I have just opened it.
All right.
Can you check?
Well, if you can open your bag up and let's have a quick look inside again.
Officers were alerted by the empty bag, but are now very intrigued by the man's demeanour.
Just got an empty bag, yeah? All right. Okay, that's all right.
No.
I won't need to take everything out.
My son is just looking for me. Just get...
All right, sir. All right. Sir.
Get on my nerves.
All right, you leave me to this, all right? And I'll finish, and then you can be on your way, all right? Just let me do my job.
Finish and let me go, idiot.
How much money have you got there?
You can count it. It is your money.
No, it's your money, so, you tell me how much you got.
What does that have to do with you?
Sorry?
What does that have to do with you?
I just would like to know how much you've got there.
I don't need to tell you.
All right, fair enough.
Imbecile.
Unless the man starts to cooperate, this baggage search could take quite some time. Searchers' deep-sea sweep has so far been a washout.
Well, I'm heading back in for St Mary's now. Unfortunately, there wasn't very much out there today at all. We've searched quite a big area, but all we've found is lots and lots of dolphins.
But heading back in, the radar picks up a target.
This is the target here, this chap here.
The yacht appears to be coming from the Canaries, a frequent transit point for drugs from Africa and the Caribbean.
In this neck of the woods, but mostly where those vessels come from into this area, I'd suspect that if there's anything there, it would be drugs. And it's possible it'd be quite well hidden on board the yacht as well.
Officers boarding vessels at sea never know what they might face. The drugs trade is worth billions, and smugglers are willing to protect their goods with force. Smugglers also try hard not to stand out from the crowd, so even the most innocent-looking boat needs to be treated with suspicion. This boat seems harmless, but they can't afford to take anything for granted.
It's just a customs visit. One of my colleagues is just going to have a quick look around. How many people are there on board in total?
4 of us.
It's just the 4, is it? Nobody else down below? Just let my colleague have a quick look, come back to me and let me know, okay? Do you have any any drugs on board, cigarettes, spirits, narcotics, or firearms, guns, knives, explosives. You've got knives for the kitchen, that's fine.
While the officers question the crew, the officer searching below deck signals the all clear.
No, he's happy. He's happy. He does that when he's happy.
They decide that the boat is clean, and the happy crew sail off into the sunset.
Yes, Ray, Billy. That's us just left the Dutch yacht.
But back in Gatwick, it's not such plain sailing.
Alan, I haven't finished yet. It's all right. Sir, let
This
go.
is my document. Let's have a look.
Yeah. So I need to have a look at that.
No.
All right.
This is my document. This is special.
That's special, is it?
Yeah.
Right, I need to have a quick look.
No. This is my document. That's special. Don't need to have a look at it.
Anything you have in your baggage, sir, is liable for me to have a look at. All right.
I don't need to read my stuff.
Stay there. Stay there.
The man's erratic behaviour is still causing concern.
All right, you're not being very helpful, sir, are you? Just want to leave that stuff there a second.
Some background checks reveal this isn't his first brush with the authorities.
Yes, CRO September 6, violence, drug premises,
Fits in.
Yeah, NFA, no proper hearing, so any charge.
All right. I'll go get it.
To rule out any possibility the man's carrying drugs, they need to search him and swab his shoes.
I've spoken to an independent senior officer, all right, and they've authorised a rub-down search of your person.
What that mean?
Just like a pat-down search like that, okay? What we'll do is, we'll take your stuff with you and we'll go to there's a private room just out there, all right? You got it?
Out the back, the man continues to make things difficult.
Yeah, just place it on the bed for us. That's right, just place it on the bed and you can see it when it's done. I'd rather you just place it on the bed. Sir, please.
You can search.
I'd rather you just place it on the bed. You just do a swab of them. Thanks. It's got 2 mobile phones plus another SIM card. But again, nothing on the shoes, so there's no other reason to hold them. So, right.
In the end, it was all a lot of fuss about nothing.
The smallest reason someone can just kick off, and he just threw his dummy out the pram and just chucked everything around, and that was about as much as he could do. You know in those first couple of seconds if it's going to be worth it or not with him, and it's definitely worth taking further just to see what his story was really.